left and right lungs are situated in the left and right pleural cavities. Each lung is a blunt cone with the tips or apex pointing superiorly. The apex on each side extend into the base of the neck superior to the first rim. The broad concave inferior portion, or we call it base, of each lung rests on the superior surface of the diaphragm. The lungs have distinct loops separated by deep fissures.
The right lung has 3 loops, which are superior, middle, and inferior, separated by the horizontal and oblique features. As we all know that we have 3 loops in our right lung, which are superior, middle, and inferior. So we talk about the right superior first. At the right superior part, we have lower bronchus, main bronchus, and intermediate bronchus. Then we move on to the middle loop, which has only one bronchus, and then that is the lower bronchus. Then how about the inferior part? Then we have the lower bronchus also at the inferior part. So now we move on to the left lung. The left lung has only 2 loops, which are superior and inferior without the middle loop, and is separated by the oblique feature. We have 4 bronchus in the superior lobe, which are left main bronchus, superior division bronchus, lingular division bronchus, and then the last one is left superior lobar bronchus. The interior lobe is separated by the oblique feature, so the other bronchus is situated in the inferior lobe, and that is the left inferior lobar bronchus. I think you never noticed that your right lung is broader than your left one, because most of the heart and great vessels project into the left thoracic cavity. However, the left lung is longer than the right lung, because the diaphragm rises on the right lung to accommodate the mass of the liver. Respiratory bronchioles are connected to individual alveoli and to multiple alveoli along regions called alveolar ducts. These passageways end at alveolar sac. Common chambers connected to multiple individual alveoli. Each lung contains about 150 million alveoli, and their abundance gives the lung an open and spongy appearance. An extensive network of capillaries is associated with each alveolus. The capillaries are surrounded by a network of elastic fibers. This elastic tissue helps maintain the relative positions of the alveoli and respiratory bronchioles. Recoil of these fibers during exhalation reduces the size of the alveoli and helps push air out of the lungs. Now we focus on the alveolus, which is more detailed other than the alveoli. The alveolar epithelium consists primarily of simple squamous epithelium. The squamous epithelial cells, called type 1 cells, are unusually thin and delicate. Roaming alveolar macrophage or duct cells patrol the epithelium, phagocytizing any particulate matter that has eluded the respiratory defenses and reached the alveolar surfaces. Type 1 cells, we have type 2 cells, which is the septal cells. These cells are secreted among the squamous cells. These large cells produce an oily secretion or surfactant containing a mixture of phospholipids and proteins. Surfactant is secreted onto the alveolar surfaces, which it forms a superficial coating over a thin layer of water. Surfactant is important because this reduces the surface tension in the liquid coating the alveolar surfaces. What is surface tension? Surface tension results from the attraction between water molecules at an air-water boundary. The alveolar walls are very delicate, and without surfactant, the surface tension would be so high and that the alveoli would collapse. The surfactant forms a thin surface layer that interacts with the water molecules, reducing the surface tension and keeping the alveoli open. If the surfactant cells produce an inadequate amount of surfactant due to injury or genetic abnormalities, the alveoli will collapse and respiration will be difficult. On each breath, the inhalation must be forceful enough to pop up alveoli. A person with this problem, or when this person is suffering from respiratory distress syndrome, is soon exhausted by the effort required to keep inflating and deflating the lungs.